to the fucking show.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Super Bowl Sunday. It is our third annual Super Duper Super Bowl show, baby. That's right, the third annual Super Duper show. I am your host, Bodkins. Welcome. It started with 32 teams way back in. Slowly, half the teams we knew didn't have a fucking week one. I don't care what their fan bases say. We think they did. And then it dwindled down. And then it dwindled down to, 16 teams, I think, in the playoffs. Then we got dwindled down to 8 teams. Then we dwindled down to 4 teams. And now, here we are. We got 2 teams left representing the NFC. The Johns from Philadelphia representing the cheesesteak. They were here 2 years ago. They went out this offseason and got the best running back they could get in Saquon Barkley. And all he did was almost rush for over 2,000 yards and almost broke the record. And they're here and representing the AFC side. It's none other than the 1-time, 2-time, 3-time Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl champs. They are going for history to make it an actual 3-peat. We've never seen this done in history. History is on the line. Can the Eagles once again stop a team from 3-peating? Or will the Chiefs be the first team to ever break and win 3 in a row? We'll find out tonight, 5:30 Central. But for the next hour, hang out with us. We got lots of guests. We're going to be breaking down the game more. Joining me throughout the next hour, staying with me the whole time, will be none other than Mr. Chief himself. Super producer all together. Got all the guest Tanner Dawson.
Go Chiefs!
Also,
hey. By the way, I got my Chiefs pants on. I even got a Chiefs socks on, baby. We're wearing red and some yellow in the play. We're ready today.
The Chiefs, Tanner's been here, done that. A guy whose team hasn't sniffed the Super Bowl since, I don't know, the 80s, and hasn't even the longest drought in the playoffs. He's, with the rest of us. Give it up for Mr. Johnny Cruz.
What's going on, bro? I appreciate you bringing up old stuff. Dolphins haven't been to the Super Bowl since '84. Dan's last time they haven't won since '73. But yeah, thank you for reminding me of that on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Excited to be here. Happy to
haven't won a playoff game.
Again, I don't know why you bring up old stuff, but no, we haven't won a playoff game in 24 years, the longest streak. Once again, I appreciate you, picking at old scabs and shit. But man, happy to be here. Excited for this game. Interested to see what happens here. I'm just hoping for a good game. Obviously, I don't have a dog in this race, so I just want to see a good football game. I'm sure we'll give predictions and all that shit. But no, excited to see what happens, man. I mean, happy for Tanner, you know what I'm saying, and Chiefs fans and Chiefs Kingdom. Hell of a run. You got the best quarterback in football right now, and let's see if they can pull off the 3-peat, man. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, speaking of the best quarterback in football, a lot of people are anointing him maybe the GOAT, but to my GOAT is none other than Thomas Brady. He will be calling the first game, and a guy who saw all the Tom's games and every other game that's ever been played is Mr. Scott Cobe. Scott, Brady's first time calling the game instead of playing in it.
Hold on 1 second before we go. Hey, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's great to have you back, first of all. Second
Happy to be back, man.
What the hell are those top 2 guys wearing up there? Did you forget to give me a memo or something?
Well, Nick's wearing his pimp outfit. And then you got Tanner representing his team. You know what I'm saying? Representing his team, so he's going all out, bro.
I'm just saying,
I would be doing the same shit as Tanner if it was my team in the Super Bowl, bro. I'd be decked out. I'd even have the Dolphins underwear going.
I got red on.
Was on there. So I'm with Dan. Of course, Nick. You know how Nick is. Nick's got to pull out his his best top Sunday best for the Super Bowl show. So you're saying
Exactly.
What on earth would happen if Burrow was in the Super Bowl? What would he pull out then?
I think he would just be wearing the chain. He would just be wearing the chain. That's it.
Yeah, we don't want to see that.
A guy's team who's the furthest.
These are tough. These are
A
tough
guy's
days.
team. A guy's team who's the furthest away from the Super Bowl is, because if you have the first draft pick, the furthest away from getting to the Super Bowl means you were the worst team. Give it up. He'll be joining us just briefly. Mr. First Down, Sam.
Let's just hope he's wearing the chain around his neck and not somewhere else. Okay?
Let's
be thankful for that.
I went there, Sam.
I see Nick there. I love you, Nick. I love you. We love you, Nick.
Sam, it's the Titans game, but how do you think this game plays out? Actually, before you get that, let's ask about the Titans. It's being reported that they're going to do what you want, and that's trade.
Yes, you can totally trade. Everybody, I think, gets a little quarterback hungry, especially after the year we've had. But I think you should realize how goals are early on this team, and more than that, will equal more success. Lay the foundation this year. Pick the guy that's going to help you, especially at the right side of the offensive line. Especially at that. So I'd rather have – we have assembled a pretty front office. Probably the best we've ever had, to be honest with you. I mean, proof will have it out. I want to give these guys as many things as they can. So trade out, stack picks, and the words from our football operations, Chad Brinker said, I want as many picks as the top 100 as I can. So go ahead and trade that first round draft pick and get multiple picks in the top 100. Who wouldn't?
First of all, Nick, he's walking into the Titans draft room now as we speak.
Yeah, that's why I got my son.
Yeah,
I will not sit down, Steve-O.
3 months early.
Secondly,
3 months.
the Patriots have agreed to trade Joe Milton to the Titans for the number 1 draft pick, so he's all set.
Hey, actually, Sam, can I interest you in Aaron Rodgers, who will be a free agent? The Jets told him he went to the organization, and they said, nah, we don't want you here. See you later. So maybe Aaron Rodgers makes.
He had shouted out Nashville before, but I think if you're trying to build a team, it needs to be with a guy that's going to be there during the off season and not on some darkness retreat or something. Can you imagine being on ayahuasca and running down Broadway? Jeez, I mean, come on, man. No.
It'll be a hell of a soundtrack. He'll have a hell of a soundtrack at least.
Hey, why not soon to be free agent, most likely Derek Carr? How about you take Derek Carr from the Saints? I know Kellen Moore don't want to work with him.
Nobody's going to be excited about these picks, but I don't hate Derek Carr. At least I know I'll be good for 4 games and not 3. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to go on the record right now, though, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Canes fan. Cam Ward is a dude, bro. I'm telling you. Okay. I'm just saying he's going to be a player.
Sam wants Cam Ward so bad.
I want him so bad.
He doesn't want any of these quarterbacks. He wants to trade down.
I want to trade down.
If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance, bro.
Sure.
And I think Cam Ward is one of those guys. You can get a good offensive lineman in the second round and continue to build. You got hella money in free agency. You can pay for an offensive lineman as well. I'm just saying, if you have an opportunity to get a quarterback. And again, I know, no quarterback is perfect coming out. There's no Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning coming out. But Cam Ward has some attributes, man, that I'm telling you, he's going to be a player. So I just want to put that on the record now because I said C.J. Stroud was the better quarterback 2 years ago. Last year I said Daniels was the better quarterback. And I think Cam Ward is going to be a player, man.
This is biased Hurricane fan. No, I'm just kidding. No, look, if they pick a quarterback, I have full confidence that they picked him thinking he is the guy. But I just with everything I'm reading and everything, it's all adding up to trading down. And I don't think that I just don't believe in these guys. It's not that I don't think Cam Ward has a great skill set or Shadur Sanders is, but I don't think they're going to change the game. I don't think they're going to change my team. I just don't think they're the guys. And at most they'll be a backup in 5 years. That's my vote.
Just
Wow.
say Nick.
That's a hot take right there.
I'll go for it. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and then Nick will be sure to. Hey, remember that Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, we all are. We all. Not just
we love draft talk
Keep
as
receipts,
much
boys.
as the next losing team. But what about the Super Bowl here? We only got a few more minutes with you. What about the Super Bowl here, Sam? I need the take.
This is going to be interesting. I'm kind of looking at it. Like Spags has to know that he might lose if Hurts is throwing the ball, but he will lose if Saquon is running the ball. So he has to.
I'm so
stop
confused
Saquon.
why we're concerned about Saquon in running game.
Are you
Because
serious?
he's a dangerous running back.
Have you?
Because
Spags
Tanner,
has allowed
I think
1 yard,
Saquon-
100-yard rusher as a DC in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
20
Tanner, this is
25
this
games.
is this
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Zero
It's an insane amount. 27 games. Yeah.
If Saquon is running the ball effectively, that
yeah.
breathes even more life into the Eagles' offense.
right.
No,
If
that's true. That's true.
Saquon is slowed down, the offense is going to get stagnant.
I still think it starts with Hurts, ends with Hurts. What is he going to do? What's his game plan? Is he going to perform like he did with LA in the LA playoff game, or is he going to, pretend he's still hurt and act like he's with Washington, where he passed the ball, where they're actually more effective and dangerous when Jalen Hurts gets to pass the ball more than it is anything with Saquon? Because Saquon's going to get his.
There was a good take that had it wouldn't shock me if Hurts ended up with more rushing yards than Saquon, something along those lines. I thought that was an interesting.
That would be
take.
crazy.
We've played against
Yeah.
running quarterbacks, guys. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, etc. Like
Right.
Jalen Hurts is not on the
We'll get
list.
to your why your pick is picked. Sam, give us a winner and your Super Bowl MVP.
Sorry, I had to get Tanner's balls out of my face to talk. Hold on. So my pick is the Kansas City Chiefs 32 and the Eagles 24. People think these defenses are great, and they are, but I think things start to break apart. And I think the Eagles can't keep up with Mahomes' magic, and probably my money's on Xavier Worthy. I think Worthy's going to have a huge game this year. That's what I think.
Okay.
Nice.
I like it. The different the outside pick. Hey, Sam, we'll
I like it.
catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow night.
Y'all have a good one. Yep.
See you,
Sam,
dude.
be safe, bud.
Hey,
Yeah, Sam.
see you, Sam. All right, we got our next guest already queued up. His team did a little bit better than Sam's team. Still missed the playoffs.
Definitely did better.
But it
though.
looks like they did better. But it looks like they got the coach. They're building the culture. Maybe offensive line and some might say a new quarterback. But to help us talk this Super Bowl pick, and we'll talk a little Seahawks just for a brief second. Football talk with our guy, Bo, baby.
Here's your referee talk for the day. Here we go, Bo. Let's go.
Hey, what's happening, gentlemen? What's happening, gentlemen?
What's up, Bo?
What's
What's
up?
up, man? Thank you
How's it
again.
going?
Referee talk.
Real quick,
What are we talking
just
about?
on the Seahawks,
Just wait.
your evaluation of the season and then what they need to do in the offseason real quick before we
Yeah, so I mean, the season actually kind of went about how I thought it would go. We ended up with one more win than I was thinking before the season. I thought they were a 9-win team. So I mean, it was a new coach. There's a lot of new defensive pieces, an offensive line that was underwhelming. So 9 wins was about what I thought they should be. And it was every bit the roller coaster ride that you would expect. They had moments where they looked good, and then they had moments where they lost games that they had no business losing. So it was funny that they ended up in a tie with the Rams. I had them tying with the Rams at the beginning of the season at 9-8, and then us winning the tiebreaker. And instead, it ends up going the other direction. But yeah, I mean, overall, they need to re-sign Geno. Bang for the buck. He's outperforming his contract. There's not a better option out there, right? If you look at your free agency pool,
Sam Darnold. Can I interest you in Sam Darnold? You don't think Sam Darnold?
No, I don't think Sam Darnold it would survive behind our offensive line.
No, he wouldn't. At all.
That's probably true.
Not
What's up,
Robert.
Robert?
You got to remember,
He wouldn't at all.
it was a bottom 5 unit, right? They were ranked 27th or worst most of the year. So you need a guy that can at least move. Gino wouldn't be a quote unquote mobile guy, but he can at least get out of the way. Whereas Sam Darnold, he'd get ran over by trucks constantly, and every time you saw him get pressured, he would revert back to seeing ghosts, right? Like he's not that dude if someone's in his face all day. And
The last
Gino
2
was
weeks,
the
right?
most pressured. What's that?
The last 2 weeks of the season, Sam Darnold, right there.
Exactly.
That's all you need to see.
Is that, Bo, one other quick question, Sarah, is that where McDonald and the GM wants to go throughout the whole offseason, his offensive line, or they have something else up their sleeves?
Yeah, so they do look like they have an emphasis there. I saw Snyder and McDonald both at the Senior Bowl, and they spent a lot of time with the offensive and defensive line units.
Okay.
So it does look like they're leaning that way. As a fan, I hope they do. As an analyst, they better.
I would agree.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, things look up, especially as you start to see San Francisco start to unravel.
I like it.
Bo, I thought JSN really took the next step to me and I thought he's the best wide receiver that on the field for you guys. How that take?
Yeah, no, he easily is. It's funny because people are so high on DK because of his athletic ability, right? And people try and compare him to Megatron, which he is not that guy, right?
No.
He's built like him, right? Like he's a monster of a human. My comp for him, because he runs a really lazy route, is he's Des Bryant. That's who the guy is. He runs go routes. He runs top end routes. He can't create separation if you need him to run a crisp route. Like he's just not that guy. Not to say that Des Bryant was bad or it's a terrible comp or anything, but if you have a bad offensive line, that dude ain't going to be open a lot.
Well, that's a good comp.
Yeah,
that's a good comp.
I thought every time I turned on the Seahawks played they needed a big play, it was coming from JSN. And real quick, I got one last question for you about Super Bowl. Anybody blow you away down there at the Senior Bowl? You were down there almost all week. I saw anybody where you took away was like, "Oh, that guy's going to be something special on Sundays."
So I didn't have any that were off the charts that way. I did have like the offensive and defensive units, line units looked good. So there's going to be some really good guys to get out of that unit. One guy that hurt his draft stock incredibly was a Connerly. He was a offensive tackle out of Oregon, and he was getting boat raced all week. And then again in the game, people were able to run outside of him, spin inside of him. If you wanted to record a defensive stat, you wanted to line up against him. So he hurt his draft stock quite a bit. There's a quarterback out of Canada that's going to be interesting to watch. He will probably be either a 6th or 7th round, maybe an undrafted free agent. Set a lot of records up there, but he had a good week. He had a good week down there, so someone might take a flyer on him. So it'd be interesting to watch. Set a lot of records up in Canada. And then, of course, there's number 7, who ultimately won the game, has a good story. It actually started a month ago right here where the Super Bowl is, New Orleans. His older brother got killed in that truck that drove through the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
So
I saw a story.
Super Bowl, wore his brother's jersey or brother's number 7. He ends up winning the MVP of the Senior Bowl, and he gets the winning touchdown with 7 seconds left on the clock. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better story for this kid. He'll be interesting to see where he lands in the draft as well.
Whoa, did Cam Ward struggle down there? Did I read that right? All the quarterbacks struggled.
Yeah, the quarterback class that was there was not great.
Dang.
If so, think of like the big names that were there were obviously Dart, Milroe, Dillon, right? Those guys were all there. They had they had moments where they looked good. Milroe, on the other hand, did not. Those games that he struggled with in Alabama is exactly his entire week of Senior Bowl. Like, he was missing open guys with no defense, right? Just like drills, he was missing guys. So if there was a quarterback that probably hurt his stock, it would be Milroe. I'll actually be surprised if any of those quarterbacks go before the 4th round after watching them this week.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Bill, what's your keys to
Sorry, you broke up right there. What was that?
the keys to today's game?
For the Eagles, it's going to be to get Saquon rolling early. He needs to have a decent day, even though KC does have, they have a good run defense. I mean, one of the things that's not really being talked about with KC is they do have a top 10 defense. Like they're a good, they're a good team. They're a solid, well-rounded team. But for the Eagles, they're going to need Hurts to play like he did in the last one. He's going to have a day, right? They're going to need Saquon to come out and do what he does. Now, he's not going to go off for 200 yards. I don't know why people think that's a thing. He's going to have a 120 yard day. Like, he's going to eat. Like, they're going to get him, but he's not going to go crazy. They're going to need Hurts to be able to throw the ball. And KC's defense is going to dare him to beat them.
Do we think the Chiefs are going to struggle running the ball, or do you think they can get something going today?
So what's going to free up their running game is Kelsey being able to find his way open in space. Like that is what's going to help them. When it comes to stuff over the top, the Eagles have a good secondary. Like they're going to be able to stop a lot of that. For KC to win, they're going to have to get their running game going. It's not going to be, overly dynamic or explosive, comparatively, right? But one of the things that opens that up is the fact that Kelsey can find space in that kind of lower linebacking zone. And that opens up a lot of running plays because all of a sudden one of those linebackers have to drop out with him. So that'll be one of the biggest things. The other thing is if their blocking schemes can make it so that when Mahomes does have to scramble, he can get downfield, right? If you're looking at the Eagles side, they have to be able to contain him. Right. If they let him scramble around, that's where a lot of his dynamic plays can happen. That being said, both these teams are pretty evenly matched. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, who are you winning in Super Bowl MVP?
There's only 3 guys. Tough one. Yeah, it really is. If it's the Eagles side, then it's either going to be Hurts or Saquon, right? Obviously, if Saquon gets it, then that's great for them, right? Or great for him because he didn't win the league MVP. Not that you really thought he was going to anyway, but that would be cool. That being said, I think one of their rookie corners could if they get some turnovers, especially if one of them turns into a pick 6. I can see that from the Eagles side. From the KC side, it's Mahomes, right? Like
that's what I said.
He has to be special. Simple as that.
I like that. Sorry, I got a question. So AJ Brown, Devontae Smith on the Eagles side. We've seen them show up in games. We've seen one of them show up at a time. Sometimes we've seen nobody show up, right? And we know Jalen Hurts has to pass the ball today. He had 305 or 304 yards last time these guys played in the Super Bowl. You got to see that Jalen Hurts this game, right?
Yep.
But who would you say is going to be more dynamic on the receiver side for the Eagles? Because I feel like it's outside. I mean, Jahan Dotson hasn't really done nothing. There's no really other true receiver that should generally be concerned about. And of course you have Gettert there, but like
I was about to say Goddard might be big.
That'd be it. But like Devontae and AJ Brown, man, who has the bigger game today?
They need it from AJ. And it may not necessarily show up in yardage.
Okay.
But what they need him to do is run clean enough routes that it requires safety to break down. And so it may not necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but they need AJ Brown to be special. Like they need him to be the guy that they got him to be.
Yeah, because we went over it this morning, Bo, and when we looked at Devonta Smith's career with Spagnuolo against Kansas City, he's had basically 3 100-yard games against them.
Yeah.
So my thought was that they're going to the Chiefs funnel all the passing work to the middle of the field, which would be in Smith and Goddard's favor in this game. Do you agree? Do you think that's
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's why I said those guys may not necessarily show up on the stat sheet as being super important, but they are what drives that defense to be out of position for other guys to eat. Right. And so, but they need them to run really crisp routes, because if it's lazy, the safety doesn't have to come down because your corners can stay with them. Right. But if it's nice and crisp, then they have to break down. They need the help. All of a sudden, guys in the middle, guys through the slot, they open up. So even though, again, maybe not on the stat sheet, but they have to be every bit of what they went and got them to be.
Tanner, do you want him to talk about the referees or no?
No. I heard it all. I've heard it the last 2 weeks from him.
The thing that's funny is I don't actually think there's a ref thing. I will jump in on it when people talk about it because I think it's hilarious. But no, I mean, realistically, I do think that this is a game that will mostly be decided on the field, right? Yeah. I mean, this is playoff football. They're going to swallow their whistles for the most part. If it's flagrant, that obviously they're going to do it. But I mean, I would imagine a much more physical game than maybe they let them play during the season, and that's just playoff football generally.
Yeah, and this referee crew, just so everybody knows too, holding calls is their forte. So we'll be looking for that probably all freaking game. So unfortunately, holding calls to me are like one of the worst things to have as a referee.
Unless you're like grabbing into the pads or something,
let
them fight.
Give us the obvious calls and go from there, right? When they turn him, whatever. Like, let's get those calls. Outside of that, I don't care.
Exactly.
Nobody cares.
All right, Bo. Who's winning this dang game?
So I have the Eagles 27-24, barely hitting the over. It's a game that realistically is probably going to come down to who has the ball last. Let's be honest.
It is.
And so, I'm leaning towards the Eagles, but I mean, it's a coin flip of a game. It's a reason the money line is 1.5. Right? Yeah. Even Vegas is like, man, I don't know.
Who's true. The MVP? Who's the MVP?
I'm gonna go Saquon because they're gonna need him to be right. I feel like it could be him or Hurts, although I really think that it could be one of their young defensive corners for the Eagles. There's a real good chance,
baby.
That's exactly it.
I mean, Craig has Mitchell.
I wouldn't put money on it. Like if I'm putting money on it, it's Saquon, Hurts, and Mahomes. If there's a fun story behind it, then it's DeJean.
I like it.
I liked it. Yeah, I like that.
Give it up for the Bo, give it up for the whites, right? Give it up for the whites. The exciting whites, is like Pat McAfee said.
Just like McAfee said, man.
What's the money for Cooper DeJean? A white any Super Bowl MVP? It only completes the story, baby. Bo, let everyone know where they can find it. Yeah.
I would bet the odds on that are probably plus 1,000 at least.
I would think so too.
So you can find me on YouTube at Football-Talk, all the socials, Football Talk with Bo, and of course Roku TV 5 days a week, and maybe if it all comes together, would be 99.1 radio, Real Talk Atlanta on the weekends.
Freaking go!
Nice. Awesome,
Bo, your show on Northeast streaming at noontime on YouTube is great. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. You
guys do a fantastic job.
They do.
I watch it as much as I can. So.
Yep. No, I appreciate it.
Hey, Bo, we appreciate you joining us.
That's right. Thanks,
always,
Bo.
anytime, brother.
Appreciate you, buddy.
We'll catch you later.
Take it easy, guys.
Be safe, bro.
All right, nice. We'll keep the party moving. Another guy whose team might be far away from the Super Bowl, but they've been to two. This man loves he loves his football giants. He loves the anchor man. Give it up for our guy, Mr. U, baby.
Mr. U.
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Guys,
Happy to have you.
Mr. U, thanks for
So the Giants trained number one to get Tennessee's pick. Is this the
how
team
we
that's
starting this thing off? We start off with that kind of question. That's where we going.
Hey, nothing expected here.
I can almost promise you that's not going to happen.
exactly. I gotta ask you though, as a Giants fan, are you mad that they're bringing everybody back? I don't know how you watch Hard Knocks and watch your G. Like that's the guy. I believe in this guy running the show because I watch that show. Like I'm doing that damn job because that guy's an idiot.
I didn't get a chance to see it because I don't have the service, but I kind of try to follow it. And for me, these guys are a package deal. I always said it on our show that if one stays, the other got to stay, the other one goes, they both got to go. That's kind of how it is. The more I hear and the better that Barkley does, it just makes me feel like I went through more of a depression. I'm like, now this man's in the Super Bowl, I'm like, oh, wow. So let's be real. If he was on the team right now, he'd probably be out with a quad. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah.
All lines nowhere near what we got going on. So let's be honest. He wouldn't have 2,000 yards. It wouldn't be happening with us. But to see him on a different team in a division that we play in, it makes it awful, man. So for me, I feel like Schoen and Dayball getting a chance to do one thing. This is their only assignment. Draft their own quarterback. That's all this is about. Because in all fairness, I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't like doing that, but I got to because some of our Giants fans are off their rockers. But let's be honest. They haven't got a chance to draft their own quarterback yet. They paid DJ, which I don't think they should have did that. But they did do that. That's not drafting.
I think everybody in America said that.
Yeah.
Who would be your choice, Mr. U? I gotta ask. Who would be your choice out of Cam and Shador?
Oh God. Those are my options.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna take a quarterback early,
he'll take Dor 3, please.
Well, I got a quarterback I like, but it's not either one of those guys. But I answer your questions, Cruz. If it was one of those two guys, I would take Ward if the option was given to me out of those two there. I watch Sanders. I mean, they force-fed me Colorado games every single week. I don't know why. I live in South Carolina. Not sure why I'm getting Colorado games every single week, but they will force-feed them to me. So I saw more Shador than anything. It was all right. I wasn't overly impressed. No, for me, I'd rather get a guy like Abdul Carter or a Hunter and get Dart in the second round. That's what I would do.
I'm big on Dart too. I ain't gonna front.
Dart. McCord, he's kind of in the back of my mind. I'm not really sure about him. I haven't seen. I'm somewhat of a Syracuse fan from New York, so that's not hard to figure. But I haven't seen a whole lot of McCord play. But what I've seen, I liked. But I would go Dart in the second round if I could. If he goes to the first round, we might have a problem then. But right now, it looks like Dart might be a second rounder, early enough for us to grab him in second and get somebody that can impact us on the defensive side, whether it be a Hunter or Abdul Carter. Get him in the first round. And just we've got to drop a quarterback here. We can't wait for Arch to hopefully develop and be the guy we want. His last name is Manning. I get it, but come on. I'm not in that Giants fan group. Take another whole other year, I lose my mind by then. I wouldn't have any brain cells by then. But wait, a whole other year? It's been
that's crazy. That's crazy to be looking ahead that way, thinking, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That makes no sense at all.
Be awful for Archie. Like that's if I'm the Giants, I probably subscribe to that notion. Because what you're saying is you don't believe that there's a franchise quarterback. Like if you're taking Dart in the second, is that the guy that you think is going to lead you for the next 10 years? That the multiple playoffs and
he can develop into that. He can possibly develop into that. Jalen Hurts was a second round pick. Russell Wilson was a third round pick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It can happen, especially if the rest of the team is built properly.
Check this out, man. I don't know if you saw this, Cruz, and you guys may have seen it too.
Are the Giants built properly? I don't think so.
I think we got some room to grow in that area. But check this out. I looked at all the losses that we had last year. It's probably about 9 or 10 of those. I fully believe that this is not, I ain't blowing smoke. I really believe this. That if we had a decent quarterback that can hit open guys and open reads, we would have a 10-win season. Are we in the playoffs? I don't know. But we had a 10-win season with the staff we have right now. The O-line actually improved, but nobody talks about it.
Nope.
We were rock bottom the year before, and we improved since then. Nobody said a word about it. No compliments, no nothing. But because we kept on losing games. But if we had a decent quarterback that can hit open guys, that was not, at least a little bit mobile and can see down the field, we win 10 games last year. Easy. Yeah. All the games we lost by 1 to 5 points. Almost all the games we didn't get blown up by anybody last year, I don't think. So if you had a guy like a Dart that can do that, yeah, we can still win. Is he the guy for the future? Is he 10, 15 years down the line? I don't know, but we won. Last time we won was 2011, man. Who cares? Let's win now. It happens. We can't afford to wait for another 10 years to hopefully get somebody you guys call elite. I don't care about that, man, because a lot of guys that are winning, they're not. I don't think they're elite right now anyway. A lot of guys who's in the playoffs, their quarterbacks weren't elite to me, but they were winning anyway in the playoffs. Right. So all we need is a competent person at quarterback that can hit open guys, that can see down the field, that can make the right decisions. We can win.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm with you, man. Why did they start Drew Lock earlier? Like, to me, was a little bit better. They started Danny DeVito before they started Drew Lock. Why didn't they go to Lock earlier?
Man, I don't even know if Bo was just on. He's been on our show. He was a part of our show for a while, and we still talk about it from time to time. He didn't like Lock that much when he was in Seattle. I can't blame him. He had flashes in Denver, but honestly, I was just hoping that he would be a bridge to get somebody in free agency, but we didn't do that. We kind of muffed on that opportunity last year to get somebody in free agency. So that's what I thought was going to happen. I never thought Drew Lock was going to be our main guy all the time for the entire season. I never saw that. So when that happened, I'm like, oh yeah, we did. That's how I knew. But no, I don't.
Better than Danny Dimes.
Yeah, if you comparing those guys in there, but it's like the lesser of three evils. Right. Drew Lock was the best of the bunch. What's that tell you though? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm like, okay, I didn't want him to be that guy because I don't think he was that guy. We needed somebody else. So this experiment's over in that regard. We got to draft a quarterback and get a bridge guy out of free agency. For what I'm hearing, Darno is not going back because they picked up McCarthy at 10, go blue, and they need him to go ahead and start. So if he's healthy, he's probably going to start. They picked him at 10 overall last year, so obviously he's probably going to start. So we got to get a free agent guy from somewhere. I heard about Jameis, I heard about Darno, I heard all kind of names, but we got to have somebody to be the bridge until a Dart or whoever we get, or Shador, is going to be ready to go ahead and start for us.
See, to Mr. Hughes' point, here's the thing, is that they got neighbors. Tracy seems like he could turn out to be something. Oh, yeah. So if you're going to have a quarterback like that, you need to surround him with really good pieces around him so that he could just, if he plays like he normally does, like he did in college, then the pieces around him will take care of him. And the offensive line protects
the receivers aren't that bad around what they
got now. No, they're not. I like the Robinson kid too. Like they got some.
He's not a wide receiver too, though. He's a wide receiver 3 for us.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver 3. We got to find somebody.
It can't be him.
Exactly.
Somebody else got to be it.
If you draft like an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter, now you're starting to build pieces offensively and defensively around your quarterback. And then you find a wide receiver either in free agency or in the draft in the 3rd or 4th round. And that could be something that sends the Giants on their way a little bit. So
another unpopular opinion. I know people hate Shane. I'm not thrilled with him. If I see him walking down the street, I might throw something at him myself. But when he out of his draft, a lot of his rookie guys actually did really good. See, nobody's supposed because there's a narrative that surrounds the Giants franchise, and that's all podcasts and the media want to talk about. We want to talk about the other stuff. So his guys out of that draft didn't do bad. One of these, he got his job because of that. So the main reason he got his job still because those guys panned out.
Yeah, they contributed.
Drew Phillips panned out. Tracy panned out. If it wasn't for that, he'd be gone by now.
Right.
Good point.
I think if we didn't have the video footage of the owner walking in, like, man, I'm going to lose sleep. Barkley's in another uniform, and then you got his son in another video clip saying, hey, who should I take with this pick? And his son says, go Trevor Jaden Daniels. And he kind of like scoffed at that. But like, like if we didn't have all this video, Hard Knocks did him 0 favors. And we would probably have a different outlook on it.
Yeah,
I didn't see that, man. Oh my, wow. His son said,
makes him look like he's a bumbling GM with
Yeah.
all this stuff that's going on around him in Hard Knocks. It made him look really bad, bad.
Yeah, he had like the room, before the draft, and he's like, "Who do y'all think?" Just kind of playing a game with his kids. He's like, "I put some names in a hat. Who do you guys think?" And get Jaden Daniels. He only got one shot to do it, and kid's a genius. Mr. U, tell us your keys to today's game and who you got winning.
Oh, it's a tough one because of course the Eagles are in it. They are division rivals, so I want anything good to happen for them. At the same time, I don't want to have them win because all I ever hear about is the referees, or I hear about who in the box, camera on her all the time. So I don't want either one of those things to happen. So this is a zombie apocalypse or missile that hits the field. I gotta pick one.
Meteor shower, would that work? Meteor shower?
Yeah, there's a lot of meteor showers out there apparently.
Not me perfect. That'd be great. Yeah, a draw would be great. A Super Bowl draw, that'd be awesome. Yeah, but probably not going to happen. So too much money behind it. So I'll go ahead and pick somebody. Well, keys to the game. Well, I know that KC hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher the entire season.
Week one, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson since week one.
Week one, and they've never allowed playoff since Spags has come to the Chiefs. We never had a 100-yard rusher in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so like 20 some odd games.
No, 25 total for Spags' career, but yeah, like 20. Okay. Yeah, it's like 21 games now.
Wow, that's definitely the key to the game. That's what the Eagles. That's kind of the Eagles' bread and butter. That's what they do. I know 2 years ago, Hurts threw for over 300 yards, ran for about 74 touchdowns, and they still lost by 3. I still feel like KC wants him to throw the ball though, because if Barkley is running the show and having 200 yards, it's going to be a long day for the Chiefs because they won't have. The ability to control the ball, so they definitely will try to stop that from happening and force Hurts to throw. It's kind of the Bill Belichickian way of coaching. Get the guy to do what he doesn't enjoy doing or what he doesn't want to do. And I don't think Hurts wanted to throw the ball as much. I saw it this year versus last year. He was really uncomfortable with throwing it this year. It seemed like to me he didn't want to do that. So if I was Sirianni, not Sirianni. If I was Spags, of course, I want Hurts throwing the ball more. And Barkley running less. One key, I think, is going to be the matchup with Devontae Smith and Jalen Watson. Folks can talk about it too much, but I discussed it on the show a couple of times. Watson had about probably 11 tackles this whole year.
And he was out for 8 games, 6 games, something like that.
So him being on Devontae Smith, I feel like he's going to get eaten alive. In my personal opinion, I think so. So because AJ is going to be the guy that's going to demand a lot of the attention. I don't think he's going to have the most production because obviously she's going to be preparing against that. And she's really vulnerable on the sidelines, which I think AJ likes to work a lot. So Smith against Watson, I don't let that matchup for KC there. So I think Smith might be an underrated guy you might want to keep your eyes on. But if Barkley goes over 100 and they control the ball, she's going to have a long day. So I got to say this. I'm going Chiefs here to win this. By a very, very small margin. I'm going to 35-33. I don't like this, but I kind of feel like this is how it's going to have to end up being. Like my brother said, man, Mahomes had to be pretty much perfect. He has to be that guy. That middle of the field situation, nobody seems to be able to solve this. Every time I watch a Chiefs game, it's the same thing every time. Like, don't you guys watch tape? The middle of the field is always open, and Kelsey and Juju are eating them up, especially in the first half. Every single game they play this year, I see on TV. Middle of the field wide open, Kelsey's eating them up, Juju's eating them up. If that happens again in this game, it's going to be a problem. So I'm looking for Zach Bond to kind of put a stop to some of that. I think he's healthy and back on track again. So he practiced, I think it was the other day. So I think he's ready. Kill that trend, make Mahomes work, and move him out of that comfortable spot in the pocket. But then the Chiefs can still win this game now.
The Eagles have had problems the whole playoffs against tight ends. Higbee got him. Ertz got him huge. This is not the guy you want to have problems with, Kelsey, today in the playoffs. He'll catch 12 balls for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It's not good. And you can't forget about Gray, man. Gray, nobody talks about him, but if Kelsey is being stunned in any way, Gray seems to be always open.
Yeah.
So
Dump down guy. Really in the end.
you better wake up there because Mahomes loves to throw to Gray. There's another guy, their third string guy. I gotta find his name, but him too. So Mahomes
Tight end.
Yeah. Mahomes loves throwing to the end. He was a
the Dallas Cowboys guy. Yeah,
Hendershot.
Peyton Hendershot.
Yeah.
I don't think that's his name. That's him?
Yeah, Hendershot's our third string.
Mahomes,
Are you talking about Fortson? Because Fortson's
Fortson's not there anymore. Yeah.
He's on the IR.
Mahomes will hit probably 7 or 8 different receivers today.
Yeah.
7 or 8 guys will catch a ball.
I mean, most likely, at least 8 guys will get catches. 6 at least. So
yeah,
I agree.
It's insane. But,
I agree.
man.
Who do you got?
Yeah,
MVP, Mr. U.
Well, if my prediction happens, probably end up being Mahomes because, like I said, he had to be super spectacular today. I can't see anybody else getting. Talk about spreading the ball around. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I don't think one person's going to have some spectacular today. I think Pacheco's going to get a little bit here. You see Kelsey get a little bit. You see Juju get some. You kind of see it spread around a little bit. But for me, I think it had to be Mahomes. If now the Eagles pull it off and they win this, it's probably going to be because of the run game and it has to go to Barkley or if Smith delivers like I'm predicting. So on the Eagles side, either Barkley or Smith, probably Barkley first. And then on the KC side, Mahomes will probably be the MVP. You know, no offense, Chan, but they want to give him the MVP and have it, you get what's going on. This is
it's a quarterback award most of the time anyway.
It's a quarterback most of the time.
Exactly.
You know it is.
Other people where they can find you at.
Sure, absolutely. I'm on all the socials except TikTok. Apparently, that something happened with that recently. They call me Mr. U, a YouTube channel at the same name. They call me Mr. U. All your listening platforms, we're there: Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. So, they call me Mr. U. Love to hear your thoughts on the show. We're on Thursday nights. Chi 3, that Thursday thing. It'll be Thursday night at 7 p.m. Love to have some of you guys on to help us out too when you get a chance.
Nice.
7 p.m. Yeah, man. Anytime now. Let's go.
Yeah, now.
Let's talk. But yeah, so we talk sports every Thursday, man. Just have fun with it, man. A lot more collaborative. Getting you guys on there, giving you some FaceTime, some exposure. It's all we're about, man. So let's jump inside and get that done, man. But we're talking football and sports all day, every day, baby. Love it.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you hopping in. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
it. Have a good one, man. Thank you, bro.
Good one. Enjoy the game.
Everybody check out Mr. U's stuff. All right. I guess we already got our next guest. He's over here trying to act like he's on the show around here, clicking his own.
He's on cell phone, guys. He's on cell phone. Now, StreamYard has this dumb option that if you log in on a cell phone, it automatically pops you into the stream instead of on the back part. So it's a dumb StreamYard thing. Okay. So it's not just a dumb Cowboys fan. So.
I thought that's what I was blaming it on. Was just Nick,
don't forget this is the Eagles' biggest fan on the Let's Talk Sports Network coming up. So.
It's true, massive fan.
It's true.
Oh no,
he's been picking the Eagles all year. Even though he's allegedly, he is. This might be in the worst crap the Cowboys have ever been. Like their coach is awful. They're Brian Schottenheimer. They got but Jerry will tell you he's surprised they're not playing in the big game on Sunday.
What's up, Kyle?
It is. Give it up for our Cowboy resident, Mr. Alan Perales.
Alan,
what up, Alan?
I'm all in, guys. Brian Schottenheimer is my new coach.
No. Tomorrow, the Cowboys fans are back all in for this upcoming year.
All in. Next year is your year, Alan. Right? Next year is the Cowboys' year. Brian Schottenheimer is going to do what nobody thinks he can do and lead the Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
I'll be honest. I'll be surprised if we win 5 games next year. I'll be very surprised if we win 5 games next year.
That roster, possibly? Man.
I will be surprised if we win 5 games this year.
It's better to be surprised than disappointed, Alan. So way to set the bar low.
I will.
Bottom line
Hey,
sports.
and that's what I tell my wife, Johnny. You better be surprised.
Flows all in. Alan flows in.
I will say this though. I will see Brian Schottenheimer raise you Dave Campbell. I think Dave Campbell was worse.
I'm not sure. This guy is not that great.
Who was? Oh, Chan Gailey was it?
Chan Gailey was the worst. Chan Gailey was probably the worst.
Yes.
He was a one and done. He was a one and done. He was the only one and done in franchise history. So,
Nick, you could do a better job coaching the Cowboys next year than Schottenheimer can. So.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to ask. I'm going to bring back the old party house. I need the White House that Irv and all the boys hung out at. That's what I'm bringing back. I'm the Cowboys.
Alan, I love the red, man. I love the red. Yeah, you're really.
It's the only red. It's the only red I had. So you're welcome.
Is that letting us know where you leaning?
Yes. Yeah. Which way are you leaning here?
He can't get the Eagles. He can't do it. He can't bring.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's against my religion, Scott. It's against my religion.
I know it is.
What's the case here for the?
Also, Nick. I think you're gonna see both defenses have a good game. I think both offenses will start out slow out of the gate. I think both defenses are going to kind of establish themselves because both of them play very well. I think it's going to come down to who gets the most turnovers and who makes the better defensive plays. Because we talked late in this game, offenses are going to start to heat up a little bit. Travis Kelce, that's the guy you're going to have to keep an eye on. Saquon Barkley, you're going to have to keep an eye on him. But I think it's going to come down to who plays the better defense and who has the most turnovers in this game.
Yep.
Hey, turnovers are huge in this game here alone.
Especially in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Mahomes hasn't thrown a pick since November. The Buffalo Bills game in November.
It's the Bills.
Are you sure? We looked it up.
We looked it up on Lock It
In. He didn't throw a pick.
Before that, he threw one in the Bills game because that's why they said.
Yeah, the Bills in November.
No, he threw one. I thought in the AFC.
No, I think he fumbled.
No, he just fumbled. He didn't throw a pick.
Maybe it was the first turnover, not interception.
First turnover. Yeah. But not. Yeah, he didn't throw a pick. So, and Alan predicted this morning too on Lock It In on the Rec Room Sports Hub that there's might be a pick 6 happening today.
While we got the Lock It In crew, real quick, then we'll get Alan's pick before he gets out of here. What bet, Tanner? What's the best bet for you?
Chiefs total points over 25.5. It was positive, at least when I bet it at plus 105. So that was my favorite bet I did so far.
Nice.
Scott, what about you?
I went Mahomes 5.5 rushing attempts over. I think he's been running 9 and 7 in the playoffs.
Yeah, he does that every time in the big games. He knows, you know what I'm saying? That's when he uses his legs more.
If the Eagles pass rush gets to Mahomes, he'll run. And I think they're going to get to him a few times.
Both quarterbacks. I like both quarterbacks rushing yards over. I think that I heard a stat. I think it was on Matt Matthews. For fourth quarter or something like that.
Oh, fourth quarter alone. Yeah. There's some crazy lines out there.
It's small. It's so small. It's like, well, both of them, if it's a tight game, are going to get out the pocket and run. What about you, Alan? What's the big bet for you? Like you're pounded.
They're worthy over 5.5 catches. I think Kansas City's going to struggle to run the ball, and they're going to try to run the screen game to be an extension of their run game. You're going to see a lot of Xavier Worthy today, so I think he's going to catch ball over 5.5 times.
Nice. I'm not part of the Lock It In thing, but the 38.5 yards rushing for Jalen Hurts, like I would take the over on that. Like he's gonna have to run more than that for them to win this game. So,
but that's the thing, right? If we have what he did 2 weeks ago, then he only got 16 yards against Washington.
Yeah, but nah, he's not gonna be able to do that against your Chiefs, bro.
But he has to pass the ball in the end.
No, of course. But he's gonna have to come up with those key first downs with his legs.
Yeah.
So I think he'll total, 40, 44 yards, something like that. But it'll be over the 38.
That's a lot.
I think he'll get it.
I think if you look at it quarter-wise, I like it more. Like if you break it the quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
So there were two other things I saw. On Caesars, they have Hurts passing yardage at 199.5.
They do it, yeah.
I took over. And the other thing, DraftKings was doing this happy hour thing all week. One of their happy hour prop bets for plus 140 was each team a rushing touchdown.
Plus 145.
Plus 145. Each team a rushing touchdown. Both teams run like crazy. They're gonna.
I got that too.
Yeah, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. So,
nice.
There's a lot of good bets out there. If you look around and shop around, you'll find something out there that you'll like. That's a really good bet.
There really are some nice little numbers out there. I mean, we looked at some of the other players that aren't mainstream, the main name players. We talked about Dotson. I think Dotson had 0.5 receptions.
0.5 receptions. Yeah.
It's just one catch, right? And we talked about Perrine being that way. Pacheco's were pretty low. Pacheco has to be involved in this passing game. Noah Gray, the backup tight end for the Eagles,
Calcaterra.
Yeah,
receiving yards.
He's usually been part of the last few little bit. So like, there's some 0.5 guys you can go out and just drop a little bit on and come away with some winning pot, most likely some winning bets there. So
nice.
I have
nice.
Well, I have 40 bets in today for the Super Bowl. 40.
Scott's gone insane. I was that way last year. I'm a little bit more what do I say? Wiser.
Just the more you
my amounts.
The more you look around,
there's so many.
Find a bet that you say that's gonna hit.
Now, I'm not done betting, guys, either. So like, I don't have 40 right now.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not going to end up with 40, but I'm not at 40.
And I haven't even done DFS
all
yet.
individual Scotts, are they all parlaying a lot of stuff?
There's
like
three parlays, and the rest are individuals. Because
how big parlay?
The parlays are Barkley over 12.5 receiving yards, Mahomes completions over 23.5, Harrison Butker over 1.5 field goals plus 400. I did that.
Nice.
Philly's been throwing some screen passes. Philly's been throwing a lot of screen passes in the playoffs. So it's just basically could be one catch and he gets 15 yards and that's it.
Nice.
But to me, all my parlays center around Devonta Smith over 49.5 receiving yards and Dallas Goedert over 50.5 receiving yards. And then I just added 1 or 2 legs to it. So I'm really high on those two today for Philly. They get it.
What's your before we get you out of here? What's your final score here? And MVP.
I got MVP wise. If it's Philadelphia, I'm gonna say Brandon Graham. Just to kind of be different. And then if it's Kansas City, I'm gonna say Chris Jones because I think both defenses are going to be big factors in today's game. I got it low scoring. I got it 24-21 Kansas City.
Nice.
And two of the 5,000 shows that you're on the LTS network.
Oh, God, where do we begin? Of course, on the mat with Sam, and then on our Saturdays portion, Scott joins us as well. Baseball show Wednesday night, which we're getting ready to start up the third season of it because regular season's about to start. So can't wait for that. And then in the hoop, lock it in, all the other good stuff on the rec room. So, yeah.
Do we want to get Jonathan Grishman's secret team out that he loves this year? Last year it was Detroit. This year it's Pittsburgh. He's all in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, his LSU buddy. That's right.
Pirates. Yeah,
we listen to Pirates talk now.
I was say next year it might be the Nationals. You never know.
Don't worry, it'll be the Royals next year. It'll be the Royals.
He'll never go for the Royals. Come on now. Unless there's an
He kind of
LSU
like
guy.
the Royals anyway. Anyway, back to football. But real quick, this is why. And when I see him next, this is why it's not the Pirates. The Pirates haven't signed a free agent to a multi-year contract since December 27th, 2016. So that's why it won't be the Pirates.
Jeez.
2016, that was a good year for Nick. 2016.
It was a great year for me, but not for the Pirates. So they neither have the last 30 years. Hey, Alan, we appreciate you joining us and hopping on real quick. We'll let you get back to your.
Yeah.
By the way, let your internet know it's drunk and it's in my house and it needs to go away.
Oh yeah, because you're having internet problems too. Nick has internet problems every day. Okay.
Must be a Midwest thing.
Must be a Midwest thing.
I don't have an issue.
All right, fellas,
Thanks,
take care.
Alan. Appreciate you.
All right, Alan. Be safe, bro.
Enjoy the game.
Yeah, Alan. His internet is bad.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, fans. Thanks for watching.